Part 4. The Boys. Chapter 15. A couple days after Rosemary's first appears, my Uncle Dean arrives with his kids, Yardley and Tompkin, full name Thomas. Dean brings Penny's friend, Aaron Riegert, with him as well. Gerard drives them all over in the big boat, which has a cabin below. Dean is a good time. He lives in Philadelphia. He's a lawyer, though he doesn't seem to work that much. When he divorced his wife 8 years ago, he let her have the kids during the year. He gets them for summers and brings them to the island. He's the fun dad, making up for lost time. When he's here, Luda does his laundry, unloads his dishwasher, and rinses the soap scum of his bathtubs. But Dean has always been the grown-up who did the most things with us kids. He happily takes us sailing or to Edgartown for ice cream. When Tipper is busy with domestic matters and Harris on the phone with his office, Dean seems to be fully on holidays when he's here. He horses around with Tompkin in the water. He lives large, drinks beer, slaps backs. He and my father own Beechwood together, but today Harris greets Uncle Dean like a guest. The boat arrives at noon. We all go down to the dock. "Where you been?" Harris calls joyfully as Dean disembarks. "We have to start the summer without you. Business got messy," said Dean. "Is there lunch? I could eat a Cadillac. Sandwich and potato chips," said my mother. "Should be ready at Claremont in an hour. That sliced beef I like with the horseradish on sourdough and tuna salad. Your own fridge is full if you can't wait." Pevensey has been aired, cleaned, and restocked. "Tompkin has to pee," said Dean. "Bess, will you take him up to pee?" "I can pee by myself," said Tompkin. He is narrow and freckly, with brown hair and a nose that turns up. His 11-year-old legs are covered with scrapes and bug bites. Here on the island, he spends his time staring into tide pools and climbing rocks. Last year, he and Rosemary built a collection of fairy houses around a stump at the back of Pevensey. Some were made of stones, others were held up by twigs and roofed with leaves. Fitting homes for Rosemary's smallest dolls, but mostly left empty for actual fairies. They were furnished with shells and bits of moss, plucked rose hips, and beach roses. Tompkin is good that way. He'll go along with girls. This year he hardly seems taller than before. Bess goes with him, carrying his suitcases. Penny is already gone from the dock. She captured Aaron, and the two of them ran toward the house, squealing, lugging Aaron's bags. Aaron could sleep in Rosemary's old room, of course, but Penny wants her. There are twin beds in Penny's room, anyhow. My mother nudges me. "Yardley?" I'm hanging back. I have not seen any of these people since Christmas, before my operation. I did talk to Yardley on the phone a couple times. She sent a card when I first had the procedure. I told her mother must have made her write it, but it was well done. Yardley's fat, bouncy handwriting filled the hole inside of the card, both sides, and spilled over the back. That shit sucks about the liquid diet. I only just now thought about how attached I am to chewing. I'm like obsessed with chewing, actually. Gum, licorice, only the red kind, other chewy stuff like caramel or crunchy things like nuts. Okay, I don't give a poop about nuts, but I do chew a lot of gum. Sorry, I didn't mean to make you jealous about all the chewing I do. This card is meant to cheer you up. Oh, here is something fun. New boyfriend. I got rid of Reed that I was talking about at Christmas because he was not supportive about my college application angst. He kept wanting to come over and make out when I was literally applying to Harvard and the form was due the next day. So I said, "No more Reed. New boyfriend equals George." George wants to make out all the time too, but my college applications are in now, so it doesn't matter. He's a canoe racer, which I didn't know was an event, but apparently it is. Okay, out of room now. Right back soon. Love, Yardley. She didn't get into Harvard. She's going to Connecticut College and wants to be pre-med. Dean is disappointed. He and Harris are Harvard men, but in general, Yardley is a credit to the family. She's narrow of the face and body, efficiently built with strong, sturdy legs. Her face is freckled with a stub nose like Tompkin and very thick brown hair, so that she radiates health and American sportiness. Her voice is firm and arresting, her jaw a sharp line from chin to ear. Yardley has seriousness of purpose and knows how to work hard, but she can be extremely silly. She's not creative. She herself says that, so she's sweet in awe of my mother's summer parties and extravagance, and even of my occasional sketches and woven friendship bracelets. Carrie, shouts Harley, climbing off the boat with a tote bag full of Pop-Tarts and tennis ball canisters. Get over here, cutie! Oh my god, you look amazing! I hug her. Welcome to another summer. This one's gonna be different. Not that much. Oh yes it is. Come meet the boys. I squint at her. What boys? I brought you a present. What? Just kidding, but also not. Yardley drags me onto the boat and down into the cabin, where two teenage boys are hovering over a third, who has clearly just puked into a green bucket. Terrible sailors, but cute as hell, she says. I'm a good sailor, says one. He's broad-shouldered with light skin, thick black hair, and high cheekbones. His nose looks like it's been broken several times. He wears a Live Aid music festival t-shirt and baggy shearsucker shorts. It was very choppy, said the boy who vomited. He is less conveniently handsome, beaky and tall, with close cropped red head. He has the look of New York City around him. He's wearing a leather jacket despite the heat. The third boy comes over and leads into Hadley's ear. The vomit was the most heinous moment of my life, he fake whispers. He is generally beige. Excuse me. He's generally beige, tan skin, tan hair that flops over his forehead, a medium build. He compensates for his beigeness by wearing red plaid shorts and a pink polo with the collar popped. That's disgusting. This must be George, the canoe racer. Instead, Yardley has someone else now. She is ordinary to look at, pretty but not gorgeous, nothing special about her clothes, but she has always had boyfriends. I don't know what makes guys like her so much. Maybe it's her confidence. Yardley doesn't think, or at least doesn't seem to think about all the stuff that keeps me unsettled. She is certain of her place in the world. Obviously, happy, better able to love and be loved. Anyway, I adore her. This is my cousin Carrie, she announces. She's 17. She can outswing any of you with a baseball bat. And she knows where all the bodies are buried on the island. And you're all very happy to meet her, okay? Beige George shakes hands. The broad-shouldered boy with the broken nose bows comedically. The redhead boy in the leather jacket looks up from the bucket. Sorry, I'm so disgusting. Thank you for the present, Yardley, I say. Cheeky, but I mean it. You're welcome. Harley marches over to the bucket of vomit and picks it up. Major, she says to him, are you finished? Falfing, I am. Promise. He squints. We're going on dry land now, right? Yes, we are. Then I promise. Yardley climbs out of the cabin and goes to the back of the boat, where she dumps the contents of the bucket and rinses it in the sea. We all follow her, the boys lugging backpacks. Their duffel bags have been taken off by the staff. Do you want a mint, Major? Yardley says. I bet you want a mint before you meet my uncle and aunt. Major nods. She gives him a mint from a paper tube in the back pocket of her shorts. Okay, you weenies, get off the boat and meet everyone. Make big eyes at my Aunt Tipper, okay? And shake hands with my Uncle Harris. And so in a bustle, my parents meet George Bryce Armory, the beige yet pink and plaid canoe racing boyfriend of Yardley. George's all toothy smile, strong forearms, hearty proclamations. Nice little place you got here, interspersed with self-mocking asides. Oh, I'm a terrible cook, he tells my mother when she offers to stock the goose kitchen for him and his friends. It's really shocking and even scary. I make like burned coffee and let me think, kind of raw oatmeal, and that's it. She promptly invites him to come up to Claremont for breakfast any morning and says he can help himself to leftover pie. The coffee's always on by 6 a.m., she says, and by 8 there will be eggs and muffins. She promises to buy him cereal for the cottage and instructs favorite brands from each of the boys. George likes Lucky Charms. It's revolting, I know. I should be eating oat bran, but I love it so much, he says. Jeremy Majorino, known as Major, is the Rolfer with no sea legs, the redhead and leather jacket. He's a product, we learn, of an artsy private school in Brooklyn, friends with George from years of summer camp. When George decides he's friends with you, you don't have a choice Major says, shaking Harris's hands awkwardly. Loyalist guy I know. While all this is happening, the boy with the broad shoulders and the broken nose is loafing behind his friends, his hand in his pocket as he stares at the sea. His worn t-shirt blows in the wind. All three of our dogs come up to him, and he bends over to stroke their soft heads. I hear him saying in a low voice, "Oh, hello, good looker. Oh, yes, you too. And you. Ah! You slimed my hand. You slimed it with your dog nose. I'm wiping it off on your fur, you slimy dog. You deserve it. Yes, you do. Are we friends anyway? I think we are friends." He feels me looking at him and stands up, smiles. His eyebrows are thick over dark brown eyes. His nearly black hair hasn't been cut in ages. His name is Lawrence Piffman. He says to my parents, "Call me Lore for short. Piff," he says. "Watch out." Harley whispers in my ear. "Why?" I ask. "Just watch out is all." He says, "Piff is a lot." It is announced Fef. To my parents, George explains that he and Fef are friends from school in Philadelphia. "You a boaty man, Lore?" says my dad, tossing his head mockingly at Major. "Yes, sir. All right, then. We'll take the sailboat out this afternoon for the sunset, everyone but that guy." Another dig at Major because he threw up. You and George, a little sailing?" George looks hesitant to leave Major alone on their first night here, but he doesn't have to say anything because Tipper interjects. "Harris, we have the lemon hunt tonight." "Oh, but the weather is—" "No," says Tipper firmly. "I have been working for days on the lemon hunt. This evening is not the time." She takes our parties very seriously. My father grins. "Tomorrow, then," he tells George and Piff. "We'll get a good sunset. Let me show you boys to Goose Cottage." He grabs someone's backpack and heads down the walkway to the guest house. Yardley and the boys go along. Piff is the last to follow, and he goes. He reaches out to touch the beach roses. He leaps up to tap the branch of a tree that arches over the walk.